Hello everybody and welcome to another video version of the newsletter from Launchpad Publishing, Launchpad Notes. I'm Faye Levow and I am your publisher and book writing coach. And I want to talk to you first about all of the great upcoming events that we have this month. This Wednesday we have Rochelle Togo-Figa, Speak Like a Pro and Make Money Doing It. And believe me, if you are an author, you're going to have to speak at some point in order to be successful with your book. And perhaps you're writing your book because you want to be a speaker. So Rochelle's tips are going to really help you move mountains. And then we have next week, Sunday, at the 18th, Eddie Rodriguez, Mr. Smile and Wave himself, Mr. 105 4 Miles for Happiness. He's walked from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Washington, D.C. and beyond. He's up in Baltimore, on his way to New York City, just out there spreading the happiness and looking for how he can help people move forward in their lives. So he's got an amazing story to tell, and he'll be writing a book about his adventures. So I'm bringing him on the call to share some of this with all of you, and so you can catch a little smile and wave on next Sunday the 18th. On the 21st, we have Marilyn Janae, Feel Free to Prosper. Marilyn is going to be sharing about her publishing journey and why she turned down not one but two traditional publishers and opted for self-publishing. Most people are just crying for those amazing opportunities to work with traditional publishing companies, and Marilyn turned them down. So we're going to talk about traditional publishing and self-publishing and a lot of other stuff. Marilyn's going to also share some wisdom about being just attracting money to you and prosperity and everything. So that's going to be an awesome call this month. And then at the end of the month, on the 27th of September, I'm doing a webinar for the Best Authors Lounge, and I invite you all to catch that. It's going to be a really great webinar all about writing your book and getting it published. Lots of great tips I'm going to be giving on that. So I invite you to check that out. You look below. All the links are there now, and everything can move forward. And if you missed my call with Vinca Hart, crack your money code and get high-end clients and high-end results, we do have a replay, and you can sign up for that link also down below. So be sure and catch the replay on that, because she gave some great information and great tips about how to crack your money code, what that is, and ways to attract high-end clients and how to work with them. So thank you, Vinca. Okay. Now, question of the day, ebook or physical book? How do you decide? These days, it seems like everybody is really wrestling with this question, whether to write an ebook or publish a physical book. And the thing is, people have been writing short ebooks and reports for many years now, giving them away to get people familiar with their work or concepts in their business, to entice them to dig further into other available products or services on their website and things like that. Now, there's still plenty of such information-based ebooks and reports being given away, but with all these e-readers now, Kindle and Nook and iPad, they've really gained popularity, and more ebooks are actually being purchased every day. In fact, as of January of 2011, so back at the beginning of this year, Amazon announced that for every 100 paperback books sold, 115 Kindle books were sold. Now that's huge. Of course, that doesn't include the freebies. It doesn't include hardcovers that were sold, so there's a lot of different statistics running around as to ratios of physical books versus ebooks. But suffice it to say that you cannot ignore the ebook market for your written work anymore. Now, there's some problems with this mass ebook market, similar to what happened when the panacea of self-publishing arrived on the scene. Poorly written books, poorly edited, badly designed, badly formatted, and this is happening with ebooks too. And with ebooks, People will ask for refunds. And it also, lack of credibility for the author when things aren't formatted properly and edited and all of that. So now, just as you can't write a physical book and hand it over to a printer and expect it to turn out magnificently, so it is with an ebook. And in both cases, your book must be professionally edited, and I know you've heard me talk about this on teleseminars or read other articles that I've written about the importance of editing. So critical. And it's true for an ebook too. Now, same thing, has to be proofed, has to be designed, and in the case of ebooks, they also have to be formatted specifically for Kindle, Nook, and iPad. A simple PDF is also readable on an iPad, but they use EPUB, and Nooks use EPUB, and then Kindles use something called Mobi, M-O-B-I. So you can't just upload something and expect that it's gonna work. It doesn't necessarily do that. In fact, I know that Kindle offers an upload conversion feature, which is great, and it's like, oh good, I'll just upload my stuff and bam, it'll be great. The problem is that it doesn't guarantee that your ebook's going to be formatted correctly even then, because there's nobody looking at it. There can be stray symbols amongst your text, there could be sections barely readable, and there's just no guarantees there, except maybe requests for refunds. That might be a guarantee. So in addition, now, just as with a physical book or even a website, if no one knows your ebook exists, there won't be anybody to purchase it. Marketing, again, is a critical piece of the sales puzzle. And I know you've heard me talk about marketing before. Again, on teleclasses or in the articles that I've written. So you've got to get the word out about your ebook. You've got to create the buzz for it and everything. So the bottom line is that, yes, you will save money on printing and shipping costs with an ebook, but you still have all of the other costs that are normally associated with a physical book. Now, other than that, yes, it's more economical to sell ebooks worldwide because the distribution system is, it's digital and instantaneous. But the question is, what is best for your book? So, first off, you need to consider your audience. Again, this is not a new topic. Do they have e-readers? I mean, it might be, hey, great, I'm going to do an ebook, but will your audience have the readers, have the e-readers, or read on the computer, if you're doing PDFs? If not, doing an ebook is kind of useless. Now, if the majority of your readers own an iPad or Kindle or Nook, then you need to consider whether they're going to read your book on an electronic device. Some people prefer to read information-packed books, nonfiction books, or whatever in their physical form, so they can underline and highlight and dog-ear the pages and refer to them again and again. On the other hand, avid fiction readers, most often, they read a book once and they move on. So they're not as apt to refer to a book again and again or be underlining in their novels generally. So it's a different audience, and you need to know who your audience is and how they're approaching this technology, how they're relating to this technology, okay? Now, once you've spent the money for editing and proofing and design, you can go with both an ebook and a physical book. Many traditional publishers, even, the Random Houses and all those guys, they are starting to release books, both digital and physical, both formats. It doesn't add a lot of cost, but it does add potential benefit. So that's a good thing. Now, some people are releasing their manuscripts as an ebook first because they want to create a buzz, they want to test the waters, get some feedback, make some money to pay for a physical release. And that's another reasonable option to consider. Now, if, however, you're a speaker or a trainer, if you're doing anything in front of a room, you definitely want a physical book for people to purchase in the back of the room. They've heard you speak. They like you. They want to take a little piece of you home with them. So you have to give them that opportunity. by doing a physical book for them. And it's also more likely to enhance your credibility and more likely to increase your speaking fees and help you get media attention. An ebook isn't going to get you all of that right now. So you have to know what your goals are with your book. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to achieve? And so when you know your audience and you're clear about your own goals, these are the two most important things that will guide your decision for your publishing options. In the words of the infamous Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. So happy writing and see you next time.